All right, this is relevant to what you're going to look at. I want you to look at this and I want you to learn. We could do this all day, okay? Literally, well, every day. The entity's engaging in a demonic imitation of the natural environment every day. And every day, as it does that, you're understanding what is a surefire prosecution of the people of the state and the state of California. This is the magnification of the closed blinds. That's magnification, a different level of magnification of the closed blinds. This is spread all across my bed. And at 5:52 p.m. on October 1st, 2021, this is the exact same time, daylight savings time, and I'm at the same venue, heavily documented, which is the Fontana Lewis Library at 8437 Sierra Avenue in Fontana, California. And this is the same apartment where the entity was engaging in a demonic imitation of the sunrise, okay? And what you saw was this same exact engineered light on my living room wall. It's on the floor. It's very demonic. All it is touching all over the surfaces, just like demons are doing when they're driving by. An engineered light is dragging all across the buildings and the asphalt. That's what they're doing inside of the private space. That's what this is. They're keeping it inside of the private space. There is no warrant of probable cause. There is no lawful grounds for the government to place you under surveillance. The government is engaging in stalking in this engineered environment. It's a demonic system of group stalking, and it's the state, and you're prosecuting the state for the demonic maintenance of an environment conducive to criminal monitoring, also in violation of Title 18. And at 5:52 p.m. in Fontana, California, while I'm standing inside of that library that's facing Sierra Avenue, there is no vantage point where any light would appear. First of all, outside of the analysis of Fontana, California, there is no vantage point where light is shooting horizontally through closed blinds like a laser, magnifying on the wall. Same analysis, okay? You also know it's not sunlight because that logically follows you're already witnessing what is supernatural, what is demonic. Say it with me. Demonic, because the light source is here for 11 hours in the day. That is not even remotely close to anything natural. Okay, so that in and of itself, it's the P.O.C. But we can literally analyze it all the way through and through. There is no sun that's going to create what is light that's shooting horizontally through also closed blinds, creating the magnification of these teeny tiny little holes. And also when you've seen, listen, as I move my arm around, it creates what is light activity. So, okay, this is why you do that. And this is demonic. And it's also serving for what's a sex offense. The entity is touching me, touching all over my body because they are so obsessively stalking and keeping me under surveillance and unlawful touch. It's an unlawful, while it is constructive presence, the government has no lawful basis to do so. While the people of the state, those are sex offenders pacing up and down Alvarado, while the sex offenders live at Alvarado Gardens, sex offenders entering onto the property adjacent to it, they're all monitoring me. And that's why you have the light source here 11 hours later. It's 5:55 p.m. where the light source is outside of the Fontana Lewis Library. They're doing exactly what the demons on Sierra Avenue were doing, pacing up and down the street, monitoring me while impossible light activity is being shot across, moving across dynamic light across the ceiling inside of that Fontana Lewis Library. That's what ties all the people of the state together, that entirely demonic and impossible environment that they're surrounding the targeted individual. Want to be clear, these demons know that they're being documented. They engage in an ongoing admission while they engage in the pattern of conduct in plain sight. It's the same thing that the people of the state are subject to, that same analysis, while the state engages in real time on video, in the environment, in conformity to a documented pattern of conduct, stalking in helicopters. So that's what they're doing, and they're doing it in the same exact specific environment. You're looking at impossible light activity across the ceiling of the at the Fontana Lewis Library while I'm facing Sierra Avenue, and this is not that. This is not the same sky space. I would not be able to see that if that was the sun while I'm inside of the Fontana Lewis Library facing Sierra Avenue, and also that's not sunlight that's appearing across the ceiling. Dynamic engineered light, just like what Juan Cadetto engaged in, just like what that demon Lorraine Pena engages in, crossing path in a vehicle, and engineer light moves all across the building. Okay, that's what the people of the state are doing while I'm inside of the Fontana Lewis Library on October 1st, 2021 at the same exact time. I am now in Los Angeles at 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6 on the 3rd floor, and demons are engaged in state surveillance, and they're, and let me be clear, freely and easily and systematically engaging and committing a sex offense. And this is going to be a massive sex offense attributed to a public entity, and that's something that nobody's going to want any parts of, but Amazon Prime fully and openly engaging in it, and they already know that they're documented. This is an admission that let me be clear, Amazon Prime is nothing other than a demon operating a commercial vehicle, okay? They are the same demons that are present group stalking as you saw on Saturday under the light source, which was hovering right here at 3:15 in the afternoon. They're engaged in group stalking as you saw them group stalking, parked beside the dumpster, and engineered light illuminated the side of that brick dumpster. And they are also sex offenders who are monitoring in the private space, crossing path under the light source that is not not over in any location of the Fontana Lewis Library. This is the light source that's been here for 11 hours, rising and through my living room window and now setting through the bedroom window. And you're also going to remember it's also not sunlight because it's the same engineered light that you see on my ceiling. While Amazon Prime is group stalking in relevant position, it's also the engineered light that you see above my bedroom door, dynamic flashing light. You're going to remember all that while Amazon Prime is openly letting the world know that they're engaged in terrorism, that Amazon Prime likes to hire the demon possessed. They like to hire dangerous psychopaths and delivering packages to your property. You've been giving Amazon Prime the ability to open your garages, by the way. You've been giving Amazon Prime the ability to monitor you in concert with the state with all the electronic devices that you're purchasing from them, such as Alexa and all that. I use it too, but I just want to let you know everything that that is being facilitated while Amazon Prime is monitoring and terrorizing and communicating a threat, because that's exactly what's happening in the specific environment while they know that they're being documented. And this is the personification of that demonic character while a demon driving an Amazon vehicle is crossing path. Amazon Prime represents nothing but the people of the state, and everybody here is going to federal prison. Everybody here. They're going to federal prison in the direct presence of the environment, which is not going to be shared with the Fontana Lewis Library. And you're looking at what's the phenomenon crossing path in engineered light while these demons are pacing, including Amazon Prime. This is the maintenance of stationary engineered light on my wall. This is accomplishing the same purpose while demons are pacing in traffic and engineered light is dynamic. They're accomplishing the same thing. It's the same exact pattern of conduct. It is equally impossible, and the two are not happening at the same time. All right, and that's the prosecution of the people of the state. This demonic environment is directly indicative of their condition, which is demon possession. And Amazon Prime, I want to be clear, not only are they criminals and sex offenders, Amazon Prime to be placed on a list literally by the company name, because people need to recognize it easily. They're not going to be able to hide by creating some alias. I mean, you can create some other business if you want to create some other business name, but Amazon Prime is going on the list maintained by the Department of Justice. They're group stalkers. Amazon Prime hires demons, by the way. Amazon Prime is not coincidentally or accidentally or ignorantly serving Satan. Okay, they are subservient to the demonic, and their system has been fully exposed. I want to be clear, Amazon Prime heavily documented while I was at 2301 South Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California, where, by the way, there would never be any sun at Alvarado Gardens, and there's not a sun now, it's a light source. But in comparing the specific environment, the entity is maintaining the light source over Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue from morning until evening, which is a matter of documentation. Amazon Prime heavily documented group stalking and harassing and terrorizing, and they like to engage in the P.O.C. You'll see that in the documentation of Fontana as well. It's not a matter of the popularity of the commercial brand. It's not an ongoing coincidence. There are no coincidences in the specific environment. An entity, a public entity that is corrupt, is placing American citizens under surveillance, and the engagement in the demonic behavioral pattern is the removal of any coincidence. It is intentional presence in the specific environment. It is presence with specific knowledge as well. It is also the communication of a threat by what are hostile demons. And demons are dangerous psychopaths who are placing you under surveillance unbeknownst to you. All right. And it's the government that's doing it. And the people of the state provide facilitation where it's underway through commercial actors such as Amazon Prime. All right. That's called malice. It's 6 p.m. The entity is maintaining this engineer light. It's here morning, noon, and night. Okay, like the light source here, morning, noon, and then this is the demonic imitation of some sort of sunlight. 11 hours ago, it was through the living room window. It doesn't get any more clearer than that with regard to the admission and the evidence against the people of the state who are literally surrounded with evidence that's going to tie them up in federal court. There is no expert that can get on the stand and provide any sort of explanation as to the ability to document. There's no misperception of depth. That's not anywhere in any other state today. It remained here. And if it were in any other state, there's no sunlight that's going to appear in my office. There's no explanation for the engineered light that appears on my, creating multiple shadows, magnified shadows, shadow in the shade. Creating any light activity on the ceiling. All of this is the demonic environment, and this is what Amazon Prime is fully advocating that they're knee deep into while they cross path, engaging in the sex offense with the people. It is currently 6:01 p.m. This is P.O.C. You're going to look at that video that is published on October 1st, 2021 in the Fontana Lewis Library. And then you're understanding what is no sunlight that's touching the people of the state who are going to be touched with the federal prosecution. And it's not funny. I'm so sincere in what I'm stating, and I'm letting you know about what's going to happen before it happens. This is POC.